What's up, gamers? This is the first episode of the Larpnut SMP. Now, this SMP is incredibly competitive with big names on this server, such as Bayesian Larpadian. So before I could even start recording, once I joined, I had to rush into a cave for protection. And I started mining, trying to gear up as quickly as I could. Even in the chat, you can see that people are getting diamonds and iron when I had just joined because I was late to joining this server. So immediately, I headed to the caves to try and gear up. And the reason that gearing up was so incredibly important is that most people in this server are what I call in my book a tryhard at Minecraft PvP. They do things like macing and attribute swapping, which are things I even know how to do. At this point, all of my pickaxes had broken and I was out of wood, so I decided to make an iron chestplate. And after some deliberation, I decided it was worth it because I had to risk a journey up to the surface to get more wood. After pillaring up, which took honestly quite a while because I was deep, I finally reached the surface and collected some wood. This wood would be incredibly valuable to me later on because I would be able to make more tools and keep mining. Then I found this rather large and bountiful cave that I entered, and I was surprised at how big it was. And it contained bountiful resources such as redstone, coal, and iron, which I decided to mine up that iron because I needed to keep gearing up. The cave also contained lapis lazuli, and as I progressed further into the cave, I even found, diamonds. This is incredibly helpful. Then I decided to set up a temporary base to smelt my iron and make an iron pickaxe, and so I decided to light up this place. As I was lighting it up, I realized it was quite spacious, and I realized that I might want to live here. But unfortunately, it was too close to the surface and stone layer to be safe. The reason I need to put myself so far away is because these people are very good at PvP, and I simply am not. After smelting my iron for a little bit and scoping out my surroundings, I decided to craft an iron pickaxe. But as you may be wondering, why didn't I mine the diamonds that I was literally standing on? And the reason is that I didn't want the advancement to go out into the public chat where everyone can see that I got diamonds, because that would basically paint a target on my back. But after much deliberation and waiting, my greed got the best of me, and I decided to mine the diamonds. And look at how big this diamond vein is. I got 6 diamonds from one surface block. I was feeling incredibly lucky, and I kept mining for more diamonds. But eventually, after I got 8 and I couldn't find any more, I decided that was enough. Then I discovered something called the shop. This shop will allow me to sell and buy some materials. At this point, all I would want is some food because I was close to starvation. So I quickly learned to sell my cobblestone so that I could buy some cooked mutton to eat. Then I pillared back up to the surface. This pig oinking helped me find my way because it told me that I was close to the surface and which direction would be the quickest way to get out. And so, using the help of this pig, I quickly burrowed my way to the surface, and it was time for me to find a place to put my base and to settle down. Eventually, I found a civilization. This place had a sign. It said it was the home of Schlarp & Co. But these people were poor with no sort of items in their chest. So I decided to donate to them like the good man I am. Then I found a village, thinking this place could be nice. Maybe I could live here. And I found these villagers doing something. And when I went in to ask them, they got nervous and embarrassed and left. Then I continued to explore the village, all happy like. I was full of joy. When I looked in this place though, I saw no brewing stand, which immediately told me someone's there, and I had to leave. Eventually, I found this open clearing and decided to build my beautiful farmhouse. Then I built a pen for all my animals, which included Victoria. Then I decided to tease these animals with a choice of wheat that they would never get and never feed it to them, just teasing them. I decided to go looking for a lit nether portal because I didn't want to make my own, and I found signs of civilization on the way. This told me I was close. Then, as I continued exploring, I found what looked like a beacon in the distance, so I had to go towards it if I wanted a chance to find somebody's portal I could use instead of making my own. As I approached, I saw the castle of Larpnut. Then I got even closer, and I saw cobwebs. I was hoping and fearful that this might be a combat-oriented civilization, and these cobwebs were a remnant of a battle. As I approached, I noticed a house. Luckily, the windows were high up enough that I could sneak up to it without being seen. But then, as I approached the house, I realized that there were more buildings in the distance, and I would need to come around the house and keep getting closer to figure out what they were. But as I rounded the corner of this house, I realized that the windows were too close, or too low, and I would be seen if I went in front of them. After some debate, though, I decided it was the only way to get to where I needed to go. But as I was thinking this, I saw some people moving in the distance. Luckily, they were busy with whatever they were doing to see me. Eventually, I made it to the bridge when all of a sudden people started running at me. Fear took hold of me and I just ran out the way, but they didn't take notice to me. They probably thought I wasn't important. I decided to continue sneaking anyway, just in case, and I ate up some steak to fill my heart to full because I was worried in case they decided to attack me. As I crossed the bridge, I made sure to continue checking across my back just to be sure that nobody was going to come back and realize that they had let me pass. It seemed that while this civilization loved to fight each other, they seemed also peaceful. As I came up to the top of the bridge, I kept checking my back because I wasn't sure that they wouldn't come for me. And once I reached the top, I realized that this place actually was full of beautiful buildings and was maybe not as bad as I first expected, when all of a sudden I noticed this man who suddenly decided to attack me, and this shocked me into a panic, and he kept hitting me. It looked like he was on a much laggier version than me, and I decided to run away from him almost as fast as I could. Luckily, for the rest of the time I spent in Larpberg, nobody messed with me. Larp Dream even ran past me, not realizing that I was planning to do something within their base. Then, as I kept checking my back, I realized the portal was there. I had to go quick before anyone could realize and try to stop me. I ran for the portal, and once I snuck in, I knew their fate was sealed and I was going to make it to the nether. Once I made it to the nether, after I was chased by a brutal hoglin, I started mining some nether quartz. There was plenty of nether quartz, but as I was mining more and more, I got attacked by this evil lava. It did a lot of damage and I was on fire for a while. It scared me and made me panic. I started trying to eat steak to replenish my heart before I could die, but I didn't know if I was going to survive. Luckily, the fire wore off and the steak gave me enough regeneration to keep up with the damage. Then I found glowstone. Nether quartz and glowstone were my two objectives in coming to the nether, so these were fulfilled. Even after I finished all the getting the glowstone and returned home, I had nothing left of this episode. This episode was long enough. So that was all, and I started planning for the next episode. But until then, that's it. Make sure to like and subscribe and wait for the next episode to come out. Large for one, spaceman. Oh, he travels in a spaceship. He will fly to the moon. And he just took off in a spaceship with a spacesuit. And he's gonna visit all the planets now. Ooh. Ooh.